Hi there. In a world where nothing is certain, that means anything is possible, right? If you want to fulfill your dreams and desires, you are in the right place. You absolutely can have a life of happiness. Everyone deserves an abundance of love, laughter, success, health, and wealth. I'm Tara Chadzakis, and you're listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. The show that brings you meditation, mindset, and motivation. So start by giving yourself permission to be awesome. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hi there, and welcome to this episode of Happy, Inspired, Motivated. I've been thinking quite a lot about relationships lately, and not just the romantic type, but I think life is all about relationships. Like every single aspect we have a relationship to, because everything is energy, and we connect with energy at different levels. So we form a kind of relationship with energy. We create relationships with our partners, we have relationships with our children and parents, we have a different relationship with friends and colleagues, our employers and our employees. We also have relationships with places and things like food and drink and cigarettes and situations, clothing stores, cars, books, movies, limiting beliefs, and even your past. We have a relationship with each and every one of those things. And everything that we have a relationship with is constantly changing. So we can have a good relationship or a healthy relationship with something, and then it can change to an unhealthy relationship. And this is true of relationships with actual physical people, for example, or with things like food and cigarettes. So that's how addictions are formed, because you have an unhealthy relationship with these things. And we can empower or disempower our relationships as we choose. And we do this all the time. You know, sometimes it takes time to change the state of the relationship from unhealthy to healthy, or vice versa. And sometimes it can happen immediately. You know, one word from somebody can change how you feel about them and alter the relationship or connection that you've got with them. It could be somebody who you are really close with, and they just say something that really upsets you, and your brain stores that, and it changes the real relationship going forward. And sometimes things can't change back. Like people say with trust, if you have a relationship with trust with an actual person and they break that trust, then it's very difficult to get that trust back. So I want you to sort of think about the kind of relationship that you have with all these different aspects in your life. You can start by making a list, taking a piece of paper, putting a line down the middle and put healthy relationships on one side and unhealthy relationships on the other. And just start by listing the things that you have a really good, healthy relationship with. It could be your partner, your children, your colleagues. It could be with food that, you know, if you overeat, it could go in the unhealthy column. If you're quite conscious about how you eat and the kind of standard of food that you eat, then that could go in the healthy column. Things like alcohol, do you drink too much? Do you drink the right amount? Do you not drink at all? These can go in different columns. Looking at different places, do you have an unhealthy relationship or an associated memory with a certain place? And that will put it in the unhealthy column. Certain situations that you know are your triggers, things that get you upset or make you feeling anxious or nervous about something, that situation or that place would go in the unhealthy relationship column. What about limiting beliefs? So what are the things that you have that are limiting beliefs that you have that are unhealthy or healthy? For example, if you grew up thinking that money doesn't grow on trees, or you have to work hard for your money, that's an unhealthy relationship with that belief about money. So that would go in the unhealthy column. If it was a positive belief, for example, if you'd always been told that you could achieve anything you wanted to, then that would go in the healthy column. So once you've got your list of healthy relationships that you have with things and unhealthy relationships, try and see how you can change the unhealthy around. So how you can disempower that belief or that relationship and that thought and that situation, for example, and turn it into an empowering one instead. It could, for example, be a past memory that you have that's in the unhealthy column. Take that memory and think about how you would have changed that memory, or how you could look at it from a different perspective. Maybe the situation that occurred was one that you didn't really have much choice over because of your age or your capabilities or your skills or your vulnerability. Maybe it turned out that way because you couldn't make it a different way, that you couldn't change that and make it into a positive experience at the time. So taking that past experience and that past memory and thinking about giving yourself praise for how you handled that situation anyway, even though it was difficult for you, even though you struggled at the time and it's an unhealthy memory that you have, and you have an unhealthy relationship with that memory because when it comes up, it makes you feel bad. Give yourself praise for how you handled that situation, what you gained from it, how you changed as a person, how it helped you grow. There's a story about a butterfly, and I recently emailed this to the people in my community, and there was a man, and he was watching a butterfly trying to come out of its cocoon, and the butterfly seemed to be really struggling to get out of this small hole, and he watched the butterfly, and it seemed to be pushing itself out, and every time it got near the edge, it ended up shrinking back down again because it just couldn't get past this small hole that it was trying to get through. So the man thought it would help, and he took some scissors and he cut the cocoon and gave the butterfly space. And the butterfly came out of the cocoon, and it beautifully went into the sky, and then it started to fall. And it had these tiny little wings, and its body was all puffy and swollen. And the man kept waiting for the butterfly's wings to fly out and for it to be majestic and fly away, but that never happened. The butterfly ended up dying, and the last part of its life was spent with these small wings and a large puffy body. Now, in this man's attempt to help the butterfly, he didn't realise that as the butterfly is trying to push its way out of the cocoon, it's pushing the fluid out of its body and into its wings. So it has to go through that small hole. It has to go through that struggle to come out the other side and be that beautiful butterfly. And you can look at some of the things that you've been through. You can look at some of the experiences, for example, past experiences that are in your unhealthy relationship column, that you have an unhealthy relationship with. And you can look at those in a different perspective. Look at them and see how they've made you a stronger person. See how they've made you into that beautiful butterfly that you wouldn't have become if you hadn't been through them. So take a good look at your unhealthy relationship column, all the people in there, the places, the things, the foods, cigarettes, alcohol, situations, memories, all the things, limiting beliefs that you have an unhealthy relationship with because they make you feel bad, and see how you can change them to become more empowering to serve you. I hope this really helped you today. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe so you can get notified as soon as a new episode comes out. Don't forget to rate and review as well, because that also helps with my ratings and helps me to get in front of the right people that need to hear my message at the right time. I hope you have an absolutely amazing day, and I want to send you lots and lots of love and blessings for a wonderful time. Thank you for listening to the Happy, Inspired, Motivated podcast. I'll be back next week bringing more meditation, mindset, and motivation for your happy and successful life. To find out more about our community, go to tarachatzakis.com/happy, inspired, motivated.